Good morning and welcome to our fourth installment of our interview series with the class of 2020 Duke signees. I'm Brian McLawhorn, publisher of DevilsIllustrated.com, part of the Rivals.com and Yahoo Sports Networks. Today we're joined by yet another state of Virginia product with four-star center Mark Williams from Norfolk, Virginia and IMG Academy in Florida. So thanks for joining us today, Mark. We appreciate you taking time to talk with us a little bit about your season and about your future at Duke.
Yeah, I went to IMG for my senior year. It was a great experience there. And then, of course, because of coronavirus, we didn't get to go to Geico, so that was pretty disappointing. But overall, it was a pretty great year. I felt like I got stronger, developed my game, and of course, I'm excited for next year. So
we'll talk a little bit more about your season in just a moment, but first I just want to see how you and your family's doing. The pandemic, it's kind of crazy. It's got us all at home. So how are you handling all that?
Yeah, we're all doing well, just following all the guidelines and stuff. I'm working out when I can, getting in the gym when I can by myself, and then just keeping in shape. So
good. I'm glad to hear that. So what's life been like for you having to be homeschooled, I guess, essentially?
Yeah, online school, it's I don't know, it's weird. I'm starting to get used to it now, but just like it's a different routine, just took time to get used to. So
let me go back to, you mentioned IMG being you go there for your senior year. Now that you've had time, I'm sure, to kind of reflect on all that with the season, was that really a move that proved to be a good one for you? Are you glad you made that decision?
Yeah, definitely. I loved it there. Our coaching staff, they were supportive, and at the same time, like, gave me constructive criticism, stuff I need to improve on. UJ, our strength coach, helped me develop my body. So
let's talk about your season too. I know it got cut short. You didn't get the chance to finish what you set out to do, but can you just overall just kind of give me an assessment of how you feel the season went and what you were able to accomplish from that?
Yeah, I think we have one of the toughest schedules in the country. I think we had a great season. I feel like we grew as a team. We traveled all over the country to play great teams, so I really enjoyed it.
So what about you individually? What did you take away from the season, and how did you improve from the time you got there till the end of the season?
Just being, defensively, it was a faster paced game than what I was used to. Just learning to adjust to things. Communication is important. Just stuff like that.
Well, I'm going to put you on the spot with this question, okay? So some of the Rivals analysts and I'm sure others in the industry have been saying recently that you could be a sneaky one and done type player. I don't know if you've seen some of that, but Corey Evans and Eric Bosse have both been out on the record saying such things in the last couple of weeks, that that you could be that sneaky one and done guy, the guy that kind of surprises in that regard. What's your response to that?
I appreciate it, just focused on myself, focusing on what I want to accomplish. So just taking it a day at a time, trying to get better each and every day.
Was that anything in your mind about like entering your college career as a one and done possibility, or is that something that's just not even, that you don't even worry about and let kind of play out?
Of course, going to the NBA is my ultimate goal. So, whenever I'm ready, whenever I feel like it's best, I'm definitely going to go. But I wouldn't say I'm like going in with that only mindset. Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about your game then, just in general. I know you talked about how you improved, but can you kind of give us a scouting report of yourself as a player and kind of paint that picture for people who haven't seen as much of you as maybe Clint and myself have?
Yeah, I would definitely say that I'm great on defense, great shot blocker, offensively, great hands, can finish, step out, hit an open shot, stuff like that.
So what goes into being a great shot blocker for you?
It's just a matter of timing, just going up to contest, not trying to foul, just going up. I don't know, it's just instincts.
So it's instincts though, as much as anything. I'm sure you've worked on it specifically, but
Yeah.
natural.
But yeah, I can't really explain it. It's just one of those things.
That's fair enough. So what do you want to work on? What kind of things do you want to work on and improve upon between now and when you get to Duke?
I mean, I would say like on the perimeter being more consistent from the 3-point line. I think I pass pretty well, and then just just sprinting the floor all the time, stuff like that.
So you'll be in a position, and I'm not trying to, I don't want to make these comparisons, but Vernon came in with into a situation where he had to be the centerpiece in the post. I mean, Javin was there. Javin was a guy that could kind of tutor him a little bit and had been around for a while. You don't necessarily have that luxury with the new transfer, Patrick Toupé, I believe it's how you pronounce his last name. He is a veteran guy. He's been in the post. He'll be there and can kind of give some of that leadership. But how does your mindset go in that regard in terms of coming into Duke, knowing that you'll be the guy kind of anchoring that center position?
Yeah, I mean, it's just definitely a leadership role that I'm gonna have to fill. Uh, my teammates are gonna have to look for me. I'm also gonna have to make good decisions on offense. Whether it's for me to finish or to kick it out. So
Have you talked to the new grad transfer?
yeah, I mean, we're all in a group chat, so I've talked to him here and there, not like a FaceTime call or anything, but a text.
Do you see that as a real benefit for you, though, him coming in? I know Duke will be new to him, but the college game won't be new to him. So is that a benefit for you?
Yeah, definitely. I can learn from him, considering that he's been playing D1 basketball for 4 years. You can't teach that. So I'll
Right.
definitely learn from him. Yeah.
What are some of the things that coaches have talked to you about trying to prepare and get ready over the course of the summer? Are there specific things they're looking for from you?
I mean, I have like a workout that I do over the week, like every week. So just, I mean, staying in shape is the biggest thing right now, especially with the pandemic going on. So just staying in shape and that sort of thing.
So I want to go back to it. You mentioned it a little bit at the beginning about some of your workouts and how you're staying in shape. So what does all that entail right now? When I don't know what your access is to gyms and that kind of thing with all the quarantine lockdowns. So how has your workout plan changed and how you've been able to try to stay sharp and keep in shape right now?
Yeah, for like gyms, I have access 3 times a week to a gym. As far as like body weight stuff, I can do in my house all the time. Uh, Cardio, I usually just run around the neighborhood, stuff like that.
Looking ahead to Duke, what's your expectations of when you will arrive to campus at Duke? Has there been any talk about that, considering all that's happening right now?
I mean, probably the end of June would be like the ideal time, but anything can be changed because this whole thing is crazy.
You talked about the group chat, and Henry talked about his relationship with you and how you guys have known each other for a while. So can you talk a little bit about that, the relationships with some of these other classmates that you'll have coming in with you?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen everyone, whether it's been through camps or like the EYBL circuit, and then obviously Henry when I played on the Adidas circuit when I was younger. So I'm familiar with everybody for the most part.
Have you played with any of the guys?
Yeah, I played with Henry for 2 years on Team Loaded. Jalen, I saw Jalen, DJ, Jamin really. I saw everyone top 100 camp. Um, we played Jamin when we played Huntington Prep. We played them. Um, Jeremy Roach, we played him too when we played in DC. So I've seen everyone.
Yeah, I was looking at your schedule, and you did have a pretty tough schedule. You saw a lot of
Yeah,
really good players and a lot of really good teams.
yeah, definitely.
Obviously, I mean, we're talking about relationships with those guys, but can you break down the games of these guys that you're joining with that you've seen so far? I mean, it's a balanced, pretty talented group, as deep of a group as Duke's had in a while. So, what's your scouting report? What's your take on each of those guys?
Yeah, I mean Jeremy, coming in taking a point guard role, I think he can do that really well. I mean, even when we played him, he did a good job controlling the pace of the game, controlling the floor. Jamin, Jamin and Henry both, great athletes, strong, can defend, versatile. Jalen, obviously, like a big guard. Uh, him being able to pass extremely well and handle the ball. Um, DJ, obviously, a scoring machine. So, I mean, I feel like we're one of the most complete classes there is in the country, and I'm really excited for next year. So,
Jamin talked to me a little bit about some guys that he has been watching. He's had the chance to watch more games in this quarantine than he's had in the past, he said, but he's focused on watching guys that he kind of idolizes, guys that he tries to take bits and pieces from their games. Is there anybody like that that you watch and you try to incorporate some of their skills or the way they play the game into your own game and skill set?
Yeah, I'd probably say Joel Embiid, Jokic, Kevin Durant, all those kinds of players that can do multiple things on the basketball court. I would say are people I take like bits and pieces of their games from.
Okay, so your sports fix. What's been your sports fix with everything being shut down? I mean, they show all these replays of games. So
Yeah,
what
it's
if?
not the same.
No, it's not. What have you watched? What's your go-to been?
It's been, I mean, I've been watching a lot of Netflix and then playing a lot of like 2K and Fortnite. So that's been
Nice.
like how I pass the time if I'm not working out.
DJ mentioned that he's called you up to play some of these games. What's the
Yeah.
game? What are you guys playing when he calls you?
Yeah, it's usually 2K when I'm playing with him. So,
Who wins? Who's the best in that?
I mean, we're usually playing on the same team because we're playing like in the park.
All
So it's
right.
like a three, yeah, like 3v3. So we're usually on the same team. We haven't played
Okay.
against each other though.
All right. I got you. I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
All right. So, have you had a chance to watch any Duke games from past? Not necessarily this past season, but old Duke games.
Yeah, I mean, even earlier today, I watched the Duke game against Louisville. I mean, they lost, but it was something on TV.
Right.
Uh, yeah, saw the UNC game a couple days ago. So
So looking back at this past season, what's Duke's season? I'm guessing you got to see quite a bit of their games.
yeah,
What one sticks out to you? What's the big memory from last season?
honestly, honestly, like the Duke Kansas game, like at the beginning of the year. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed watching that. The energy of that game was crazy.
What else stuck out to you about that one? Was there anything that jumped off the page for you?
I don't think it was one thing in particular. I think that was just one of those games. It was like everyone did something. Just like the whole like the team energy was there, like the hype, the atmosphere. I think it was just crazy.
What's the anticipation for you like that? I mean, first game, Duke, Kansas. It's you get to see the new class. It's the same feeling that everybody's will have when you guys step on the court for the first time. What was your feeling when you kind of are you always like amped up for that game, or what's your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. I can't wait for that. To be honest with you, it's just, I mean, honestly, it's just been something I've wanted to do since I was a little kid. So just to have that happen is gonna be like surreal.
Can you talk about kind of your relationship with the Duke staff and how that was developed over time and kind of where things are with you guys at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I trust that staff. You know, anytime I need, I can always text them if I need anything. Trust them. You know, they're always contacting my parents here and there just to make sure they're doing well. So,
So what made you really want to be part of the Duke program? And I'm not going to dive into recruiting stuff. We've hashed through that a lot, but just when you look at the program, what makes that uh, kind of gets? I mean, you smile when you talk about it. You can see the excitement from you. So what makes
yeah.
that drive for you?
I mean, honestly, just Coach K. You know, his history is just so great, and that staff. You know, I feel like they really want the best for me and want me to be successful. So, and it's just Duke. You know, like the brotherhood's real. You know, I can always text anybody, whether it's other players or coaches. So,
Back to I was going to ask this a little while ago, and we kind of got sidetracked. But are you? I've seen you listed at 7 foot. I've seen you listed at 7'1", 225, 215, 240. I've seen all these things. Where are you at right now in terms of height and weight, and what's the goal for playing weight and playing size?
right now I am 7'1", 235. Honestly, just like 10 more pounds of muscle would be like ideal for me. So I would say that's the target.
So, what did you start out at at the beginning of your high school season? Have you put on weight since you went to IMG?
Yeah, I was like like in the 220, 225 range. So
How did it impact your game? Was there anything noticeable that you felt from adding that weight?
yeah, I definitely felt like stronger, you know, even defensively or offensively. Really, I'm holding my ground. Um, just stuff like that.
All right, man. Well, I'll ask you this last question. I'll let you get out of here. And I've asked each of the guys this. So, is there anything about Mark that you want Duke fans to know, something they don't really see or know or hear about you, that you'd like to share about your personality or your on or off the court or anything like that?
Uh, I mean, I'm pretty funny, but I mean, I play video games. That's probably about like 2K and Fortnite are my go-tos.
Nice. All right.
Yeah,
Anything you want to tell Duke fans before we sign off of here?
I just can't wait for the season.
That's good enough, man. That's good enough. Well, thanks for your time, Mark. I appreciate it. I look forward to covering you in your freshman year, and hopefully big things will happen for you guys.
Yeah, thanks for having me.